Welcome to Tech Tuesday. My name is Garth, and we are here to talk about the Turning Point Pin Box.
So this is our first Ask a Tech segment of 2019, and although it's a new year, we are staying with the same concept. So I will be here once a month with one of our LCI customer service technicians, and we're going to be answering the most commonly asked questions about our topic on hand. And like Garth said, today we have the Turning Point Pin Box. First and foremost, go ahead and tell everyone what this pin box even is.
Well, what this pin box is, it's a dual-purpose pin box. It can be used as a standard pin box, or it has the option to make a 90-degree turn.
Okay, and that's extremely important for people that are camping.
Yeah, campers out there, they have those campsites where they pull in and they have two coaches parked next to it, and they need to make that wide 90-degree turn to get in. So what happens is you could undo the bolts in the back, install your wedge plate, and then this will pivot and make your coach to make that 90-degree turn.
Awesome. And what is the tow rating of this pin box?
Well, we have two different styles. We have the 10,000 pound and the 16,000 pound.
Okay. And is that the weight that it physically can hold, or?
Well, what it is it goes off of your coach's GVRW, which is the gross vehicle weight rating.
Okay. And then what does it mean when we say that the Turning Point pin box can be used as a standard or with the pivot point?
Well, like I said earlier, we have two bolts in the rear here that actually lock this into place. And then we also have a storage spot at the bottom of the pin box to put your wedge block. So with these bolts installed and this hooked up to your coach, this is going to be a standard pin box at that point. Because basically what you have is an axle spindle going through holding these two halves together.
Okay.
So when you undo these bolts, install this wedge plate right next up to your kingpin, what's going to happen is this wedge block is going to hook into that hitch and make it to where your pin box can actually pivot back and forth at this point instead of down there.
Gotcha.
So you're also bringing that turning radius away from the cab of your truck, but you're also giving more clearance over your bed rails to actually get that turn at a 90-degree.
Okay, good deal. And can this be used on any fifth wheel?
No, it cannot. The reason for that is the bolt pattern that we have on this one. As of right now, with this bolt pattern, this is the only pin box that could be used. However, one thing to think about is this is a dual combo pin box.
Okay.
It has two functions and two different applications.
You're getting the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
And then there have been some questions about the gap at the back of the pin box and what's acceptable.
Yep. Well, like I have stated, this is two separate entities basically, and it's all held together through here. So when you have all the weight right here on your coach, what's going to happen is between these two entities, there is a torsion pad that relieves any kind of wear or rubbing between the two metals, but also it will cause to separate in the back. Now that is acceptable. Anything up to a ½ an inch is okay. It's nothing to worry about. Anything over that, I would suggest contacting us and we can work through it and get that all taken care of for you.
Okay. And then as far as maintenance goes on this one, what type of maintenance is actually needed?
Well, it's pretty simple with most of our pin boxes. The standard is, check all your fasteners at 500 miles. Make sure nothing's loosening up as you're driving. Long trips, stuff can happen. And then also every season, just with your axles, you need to pull apart this bearing inside this castle nut and everything like that. Grease it, repack it, because you don't want that spindle to get any kind of dirt, debris, or anything like that. And it will cause it to bind. So we suggest that you pull that apart, clean it just like you're doing your axles, and put it back together.
Awesome. And we actually went over that with one of our previous techs in our campsite special last year. So that is something you can check out online and figure out how to do yourself. And then what should the torque be for the castle nut when you're putting everything back together after you've repacked your
bearing? There's actually two torque specs that you really have to pay attention to with this pin box. With the castle nut, it should be torqued down to 50 foot-pounds. Turned back about a ½ a turn to get the cotter key to go back in, just like with your axles. Another one to remember is these bolts in the back.
Okay.
These have to be torqued down to 200 foot-pounds. So it's going to take a larger wrench. It's going to take a little bit more muscle to put into it. And that is going to be the same torque specs for this wedge block. So when you get that installed and everything like that, you're going to want 200 foot-pounds on that also.
Great. And then next we are actually going to break off and do a little special segment for you guys. We're going to be going over the customer service website and some great resources that are actually on there for you.
Okay.
So to start off, we're going to open up a new tab, and we're going to go to www.lci1.com. That's going to take you to our website's homepage. And at the top, you're going to see a moving picture that says your journey begins here. And then right below that, you're going to see a yellow box that says, how can we help? Click on that. That's going to take you to our customer service page. And then on the customer service page, you're going to see a bunch of information, a bunch of different products. You're going to see our support documentation for our Atwood products, Happy Jack, Power Gear, awnings, all the stuff that we manufacture and we have documentation on. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and click on towing for the Turning Point pin box. And then this is going to take you to another page that's going to have a couple different things. It's going to have pin box couplers, our strap tech system, goosenecks, and LCI hitches. What we're going to click on is pin boxes. Then under pin boxes, we have a bunch of different tabs talking about our product assemblies, product components, manuals, the TI sheets that we have, and quick references. So what we're going to be looking for is our manuals. Then under manuals, we have a couple different pin boxes, but the one we're looking for is the Turning Point pin box. So here is the manual for the Turning Point pin box. Inside this, it's going to give you a complete rundown of everything you need to know. It's also going to have a couple guides that you can use, along with our maintenance schedule and greases that are approved for the bearings. If you're wanting to look up the product assemblies for the Turning Point pin box, we're going to go through some of the same processes. We're going to scroll down on the customer service page, all the way down to towing. We're going to click on that. And then at the top of this, you're going to find your pin boxes again and click on that. And then we're going to scroll down to these tabs at the top of the screen, and we're going to click on product assembly. Then under here, you're going to have a couple different options again. And of course, we're looking for the Turning Point pin box. And this is more or less going to be a parts guide and give you some close-up looks at some of the products that are on this pin box.
Okay, that is all we have for you guys today. Garth, thank you so much for being here with us. We totally appreciate it. I don't know if you guys remember, but Garth was actually our original Ask a Tech technician from our very first segment. So thank you again for taking the time to do this. We have a really exciting year set up for 2019, full of great segments every single month, so stay tuned. And you know the drill. If you have questions, comments, or suggestions for next month, just leave them in the comment section below. Enjoy your Tech Tuesday.